Fam, we are 1 week away from Christmas. Isn't that crazy? And yes, wearing the Christmas sweater, which is actually my roommate's Christmas sweater, but I borrowed it from her to try to force the Christmas spirit out. But in the end, I might just be Team Grinch. Well, sorta. But it's actually kind of cool. I kind of wanted to show you. Let me stand up. Are you seeing it? Like, it's actually kind of cool. Anyways, how we're doing? Are you dreading Christmas a little bit? Yeah, me too. I like Christmas, don't get me wrong. I think it's a nice holiday. I love my family. I love spending time with my family. But everything linked to Christmas is not my vibe. Oh, and by the way, my elf says hi as well. But just everything linked to Christmas is like a stress infusion for me. Ordering 1,000 things online, making sure everyone's happy, planning and participating in so much stuff. And if you're an introvert like me, you know how draining it is. Like, I know for a fact that all I want to do after the holidays is just isolate myself for 14 days because I'm so overwhelmed by so many people and tapping into everyone's different energy, right? So like, all I want to do when I get back home is just like curl myself up in my cover, dump my Christmas sweater, and just like get back to normal day-to-day life. So this is why it's so important to actually know how to handle feelings like stress and overwhelm if they tend to creep up on you through the holidays. So I wanted to tell you how I usually prepare myself for Christmas and the holidays coming up. First thing, have realistic expectations. So usually what happens with me is when the date hits December 1st, my mind just explodes with stuff I want to do with my friends and family. I want to bake, I want to watch Christmas movies, Christmas tree hunting, decorate the whole house like I was Christmas crazy. I want to go shopping, I want to host parties, like all of that stuff. And that's just before the 24th and 5th. So when my mind is finally slowed down again from that explosion, I kind of like stop myself and I'm reminding myself that my family lives far away and that my friends and I have completely different schedules. Like, we weren't born on the same planet. That's unrealistic. Like, I can't do all of that. So what I usually do is like pick my top 3. Like, what do I really want to do? And then from the beginning of December, I just get those things planned ahead and I get them scheduled. I call my friends, I text my friends, like, hey, do you want to go chop down a Christmas tree with me that date? And, you know, just figuring that out, because it could be so hard to just get 2 people's calendars to align. So having those realistic expectations really go a far way, and it won't end with you being disappointed. And also, like, you will get the chance again next year. Number 2 is sticking to your routines. And this is actually so simple, but it's not easy to do. You probably already have some kind of routine, whether or not you do it on purpose. You probably already have a routine that's comfortable, that gets you going, that makes you get stuff done. And then it's kind of like if you go somewhere to spend the holidays, at least for myself, it's like I leave my routine on my doormat, I go spend the holidays, and then I pick that routine up when I come back. Your routines are made for balancing, and it's usually something that you would put effort into doing. So when you leave that, you're making so much more room for all these other types of feelings, for stress, anxiety, overwhelm. And what really can help is to bring that routine with you. It will help you stay afloat and mentally having it feel like everything is the same. Being able to actually bring your routine into a new environment and another kind of setting is really a clear sign that you can take charge and responsibility for your own mental health. And I promise you that your family and friends are going to see that in you, especially if they're used to seeing an unbalanced you. Bring your routines. Number 3 is to check in and listen to yourself. Spend a few minutes each day to kind of check in with yourself. How are you? Do you feel overwhelmed creeping in? Do you feel stress creeping in? If that's already too late, if you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed, ask yourself what triggered that. If there is a really obvious answer, maybe there is actually something you could do before that to prevent it. And if your gut is telling you to take a break, listen to it. Nothing good has ever come from ignoring your intuition. Close the door, Just breathe, take a walk if that's what you want to. Go see a friend or a family member who you know will understand you. I heard someone once say that they had been wrong about so many things, but their intuition had never been wrong. So please, listen to your intuition. Number 4 is to reach out. So when I go to the holidays with my own family, I make sure to have some kind of plans in my calendar with my friends. Go for a walk, grab a coffee, grab dinner one of the days, because it feels great to get in another person's energy than my family. And not because I don't love my family, because I love them, but because I want to give myself 100% when I am with them. So I need those breaks so that I can give myself 100% for them. Number 5 is to say no. As a former people pleaser and introvert, I would be completely drained from multiple days with social activities and plans. When I learned not to participate in those things for other people than myself, my perception changed completely. You have to get in the mindset that you're not doing your family and friends any good by showing up only 50%. If you're mentally and emotionally drained, you're not going to do anything good for that social thing you're doing. You're not delivering the best you, and the people you're around will feel that. So it's super important to put down that boundary, take some time for yourself, and let them know that you're doing it for them. Let them know that you want to be there 100% and you want to do it for them. But you need to take a break to recharge, and then you're ready to commit to that social activity or social plan or whatever you're doing. And maybe they might be a little offended the first time you put down a boundary. I know my family were like, what's going on with her? But I think now it's happened enough times to a point where that's just normal. And actually, it created a space for my family to also open up. I figured out that I wasn't the only introvert. My whole family are kind of like that. So whenever one of us kind of go into ourselves, we know what's going on with the other. It created an open space for people to give each other space, which was perfect. Because now we can all give ourselves 100% in the social activities we're doing. So it was really just a win-win, but someone really has to take that first step, and that might as well be you. I do also just want to say that remember that you have the power to choose how you feel. So choose happiness and choose gratitude for spending time with the people in your life that you love the most. And remember that Christmas is only a couple of days, so make the best of it. For me at least, it's not very often that my whole family can gather. So even though it might be overwhelming and it can be a little stressful, I always remember to stay present and try to take it all in, reminding myself to telling my family members how much they mean to me. Doing all that stuff is really also gonna elevate your energy. It's gonna elevate your family's energies. It's a win-win, really. So let's move on to this week's Christmas affirmation to really help you getting in that Christmassy spirit. I am so happy and grateful now that my holiday is filled with love, light, and joy. And I give myself permission to just be, breathe, and feel. Thank you. It is so. As always, fam, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And Merry Christmas! I'll see you next Sunday.